I love giant monsters, and what better way to communicate the power of these creatures than through their roar? The design that goes into the iconic sounds produced by these beings really tells you a lot about them. So are the cries that Pokemon let out when they're unleashed into battle. But the legendary Pokemon have some of the best in the games, so today I'll be discussing some of my favorite legendary and mythical Pokemon cries. First off is Mewtwo. Mewtwo's cry sounds cool enough, but I think some of the best legendary cries have a relation to another. The original Mew's cry sounds mysterious, elegant, and innocent, while Mewtwo's cry builds upon it being an enhanced clone of Mew. Mew's cry is more harsh, and while yes it does sound more powerful, it also sounds angry. But it's not necessarily a blind anger, more like it's reacting out of fear and isn't beyond saving, similar to Mewtwo's story in the movie. You know how some Pokemon cries are loved just because they sound cool? That's sorta how I feel about Kyogre. I find it interesting such a large Pokemon has a high-pitched cry. Of course this is because Kyogre is based off of the orca, which also produces high-pitched sounds, since orcas are a lot like dolphins, and so is Kyogre. Notice the teeth. But really, Kyogre's higher pitched sounds, overlaid with a subtle guttural roar, make it sound like the master of the ocean, which it is. I'm glad it sounds like this after being redone in Generation 6. I'm sure this is much more like what Game Freak had intended with the original Generation 3 version. Reshiram has such an elegant cry. Part of it almost sounds like a mammal's roar or howl, which fits its fluffy design. This contrasts with Zekrom, whose cry is more like electricity itself, sounding like the generator on its tail. Most version-exclusive legendary Pokemon contrast each other in some way, but Reshiram and Zekrom being heavily symbolic of yin and yang, I feel it works best. These are two parts of one Pokemon after all. But then you bring Kyurem into the mix, and that makes things even better. Kyurem is the extra leftover piece of the original dragon that these three used to form, and because of that, Kyurem's cry almost sounds like it's broken, or sounds like the ice comprising parts of its body is cracking. But it ties in really well with Black Kyurem and White Kyurem, whose cries are combinations of Zekrom and Kyurem and Reshiram and Kyurem respectively. Combining these cries makes Kyurem sound more complete and almost more at peace. I couldn't even begin to imagine what the original dragon would sound like if we could bring all three together. Generation 5 gave us another really unique cry in Meloetta. Meloetta, being a Pokemon themed all-around music, would of course have a good cry, as we've seen with Kricketune. While many other mythical legendary Pokemon have some nice sounding cries, I think Meloetta's is a cut above the rest. It's literally the music Pokemon, so its voice should match that, and it does. The most recent Pokemon I want to talk about are Zacian and Zamazenta. But not their powered up forms, which of course have more relatively steel type sounding cries. I'm talking about the unaltered forms, which are basically just like a wolf's howl. But it's a really good cry that is elevated by the slumbering weld. As you're walking through the forest, you hear the howls of Zacian and Zamazenta mixed in with the music. It makes it feel like there really is something lurking deep in the forest, and once you encounter the actual Pokemon, and it lets out its cry, it becomes clear that it was watching and waiting the whole time. It ties in with the battle music as well, but the music is a discussion for another day. The big thing is that this cry is built up upon in the environment and the encounter, which is genius. Lastly, I just want to mention that I really like Arceus' cry. It sounds almost otherworldly, which is fitting for such a Pokemon. It sounds graceful, but still a little harsh in that you can feel the power behind it. The cry also sounds like Arceus is changing right before settling in, which represents how it changes type based on the plate that it holds. I also like that it sounds a little similar to Palkia's cry, which makes sense as Arceus is kind of the leader of Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina all as a whole. Just a nice cry for the ultimate Pokemon. Anyway, hey, this is GatorEX, and so let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite legendary Pokemon cries? What did you think of the ones that I picked, the ones that I talked about? Leave a comment below. We'll continue the discussion down there. Honestly, I kept it to just legendaries for now. If I expanded it to all Pokemon cries, there would be quite a lot because there are just so many more Pokemon. But if that's something you want to see in the future, let me know that as well. Maybe I'll split it up generation by generation or type by type, stuff like that. But anyway, legendary Pokemon cries are just, you know, really, really cool. They sound all big and intimidating, or mysterious, or whatever. And if you'd like to see more of this format, the recent video format that I've been trying out, little post show at the end, I feel like I've gotten addicted to making the little montages at the beginning. But if you still like that, again, you know, leave a like. 30 likes, let's see if we can do 30 likes, maybe. I feel weird setting like goals, but you know, just let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like, subscribe. You can enable notifications by clicking that bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out, and will make you a member of the Chainlink Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.